if you're testing business ideas in a cheap way, you're not like building systems.
Well, what if the people don't know it's a paying thing?
Oh, you mean like if it's a game or something like
Yeah.
that, where it's like, um, yeah, I think the thing is like the never quit thing.
I mean, hopefully someone's not doing the stuff for 35 years, right?
Yeah, the thing is you can fail, right, and not quit, but you can't fail in an undignified way, meaning that you can't fail the same way.
Yeah.
Times. So if you're failing and you learn new information that informs a new attempt, that's good. If you're just failing and not learning anything new each time, then that is where I start to ask a lot of questions. So, I mean, I'll ask questions in general to be like, what did we learn from this experience? But it's like, if you just keep trying the same thing and you can't quite see why, and then you're not listening to your coach, then it's just like, okay, well, this person's just in a loop. And
Yeah.
you can't, break them out. And at this point, like, to the point of when you tell someone to give up, like, this is where I ask them a lot of questions, because I find that in general, like, if you tell someone something, then they have to take the contrarian.
I mean, a lot of people are startup. What's the word? Wannabe entrepreneurs? I can't think of it.
Entrepreneurs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are that. I think that, and they may become that. I think that, like, there's character development in life. And if anybody wants to learn about character development as a philosophical exercise, there's an excellent anime called Land of the Lustrous, which talks about the character journey of a character who starts off as like the most useless of an anthropomorphic gym society. This is where we get weird with Japanese anime. But then they learn that they can adapt their physiology by absorbing other kind of weaker materials to become a stronger whole. And so initially they're just happy-go-lucky, they haven't incurred trial, they get confronted with the enemy, and then they have to evolve. And so I think that people can evolve, and I think that that journey can take a lot of forms. So I think that people should go that journey to toughen them up, even if it's to inform an alternate pursuit. I think people should go out there and get their butt kicked a little bit, and they'll learn something, even if they do ultimately quit.
No, I think it's one thing wrong with the generation. I think there's like value to getting your fucking face punched in once in a while, right?
Yep.
There's a lesson we learned, like getting your ass kicked, getting beat up, getting that kind of stuff.
Yep, someone swoops in, steals your company, your board hates you and conspires against you. All these sorts of things teach you different lessons. They're best if you can learn these lessons through someone else's example. This is why people who read in society have such a great advantage against people that don't. If you can learn through someone else's example, this is great. So study your Harvard Business cases, Harvard Business Review cases. But yeah, you encountering the life in that way and the market in that way is important.
So next, let's switch to like tech stats, right? So I'm a firm believer. I got involved in tech startups maybe 2014. In my opinion, nothing's really improved, right? There's always diverse officers, all this kind of stuff, performative, but nothing really improved, right? So some kind of stats, and I put this from ChatGPT, whatever. Take that for what it's worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black tech workers 3 to 5%, modest gains, like. Stuff has improved, like sort of, kind of, but like.
Well, even then, accounting, right? The way these numbers they might have just changed categories or the definition of categories.
Yeah.
Hard to get the most introspective look, but.
So so one time we'll look at is like the actual tech startups, right? If I can pull it up here.
Yeah. Let's get there.
So Black and Latinx founders, 2024, not only 90% of the early stage startups.
Mm-hmm.
Female founders 2%, like you said earlier. Black and Latino women even worse,
Mm-hmm.
And these stats pretty much have stayed the same for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's like people are doing like the stuff, they're making improvements, right? But like nothing's changing. Like I think to me the first story is right. I think a while ago, I'll make this up, of course. Like I think the diversity person from Apple was at Apple, and stats actually like that got worse, and they got a better job at Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's a white guy, right?
Right.
I don't know. It just like seems the stats are not improving, right?
Yeah. They're gonna get better naturally though, because the way you can predict this is through.
But it's like 10 years though, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the thing about 10 years or 20 years in the future is that.
I mean, it's not a long time, of course, but man.
It's disappointing. I know in our lifetime to see the gains would be great, and we will. But I think the thing is the run rate of the universities is the largest predictor in this, and that might change with the way the AI is coming.
Like this one I hear, female founder femtech companies raise 20% less.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know the stats, right?
Yeah.
Is a way like I mean, people like you're trying to improve. Like, what can like we do improve it? And but is this like this the way it is, right?
I don't think so. I think the biggest access problem in all of this is access to capital to develop a minimum viable product. And thank you to AI, I think it's breaking down that barrier. People are doing seed strapping now, which is we raise once and then that's all we need is to
Yeah.
develop the MVP or to do marketing. If you no, sorry, it's to do marketing. So you use generative AI to develop your product and then you get your growth capital to do marketing and then you're done. And sometimes you don't even return to investors depending how ethical you are. But so I think that is what is the great equalizer. So thank you to all the people that are out there contriving to develop models that to enfranchise the rich people too much, because I think you've accidentally broken down these barriers. And I say that because if you look at domain name registrations on the internet, 25% of all new domain registrations are for African Americans.
Okay.
So we're starting businesses, but the scale of our businesses is
Well,
too
what type
small.
of business though?
Well, usually consumer packaged goods businesses because they're closer to lived experience and you don't need a degree to do them necessarily. You can sell something that the market needs if it's a physical thing, as long as you can produce it. There will always be someone that needs it and will buy it. If it's something more abstract, like a technology, like a bigger thing, then you have to go market it to people. Like if the cost of customer acquisition is too high, then someone with low initial capital supply won't ever cross that barrier. So it's like I think that because AGI is making it easier than just like cloud made it easier to start a company, those barrier to entries are dropping faster, and so people with authentic knowledge of customer problems are going to gain the advantage. And I think that like black people, there's like just pent up demand for market stuff in terms of venture. When people know that this is something that can happen, like growing a scalable business this way, and they have access to those technologies, when like everybody's using Perplexity or ChatGPT or DeepSeek, whatever the thing is, these agentic things, whenever, like, as long as that consciousness is being propagated out into underrepresented communities, we'll see the true meritocracy start to take place. It won't be a function of what generational wealth exists to provide people with risk-taking opportunities or different things like this.
Do you think people using AI is taking away or what's I'm looking for?